So let's look at the 7 top human-centric competencies. And I would like to underline the first one, the 7th one. It's emotional intelligence. Yes, emotional intelligence will remain very important competency. Why? Because we are working with human beings. We are not working only with robots. We are still human beings. Until the time we will remain a human beings, we will need emotional intelligence competency. We will need to show empathy to our colleagues, towards each other. We need to understand our emotions, and we will need it in the future. We need clearly to take a responsibility for our actions. And we really need to understand what motivates us as a human beings in order to motivate our teams as well. So emotional intelligence is a skill that, in spite of everything, that in spite of technology, will be necessary for the future as well. Number 6 competency is communication and storytelling. Yes, you can say that, wow, it's so modest, like communication, it is nothing new. But what I really want to underline that communication will change its shape. Yes, it will be different communication. And I think that communication will be more in a written form. For example, right now, how many of you are working remotely? I mean, in Azerbaijan, yes, maybe 80 or 90% of our employees are working on a remote basis. And for remote employees, you need to have a very good communication skills. So written communication now and in the future, it prevails. And I would say communication through social media is also will be very important, because social media like Facebook, LinkedIn, or maybe Instagram, the majority of communication is going through like written format. And why storytelling? Storytelling also will remain as a very important competency, because storytelling is something that keeps you engaged. Yes, that keeps your audience engaged, that helps you to visualize this. Because after certain years, after let's say 10 years, after 20 years, after 30 years, face-to-face communication will be less and less. And I think the best proof for this is global pandemics that we had. I remember even in March, in February, in April, I didn't met my team maybe for 3 months in person. And we did like video calls, but we did a lot of written communication. And in written communication, we miss intonation, we miss body language, we miss all these expressions, and only words are left. So we need to have a good imagination and to use our storytelling skills in order to communicate effectively. The 5th competency, creativity and imagination. So no one canceled creativity. And creativity is again changing its shape. Yes? Creativity, by the way, is something that robots are like not aware about. They can be creative. They have strict scripts and nothing more. Have you seen like Sophia, the first like robot, yes, that looks like human being? I remember like 1 year ago, Sophia also came and traveled to Azerbaijan as well. And Sophia also met with our president as well. And a couple of days ago, I watched a video on YouTube. It was interview between Sophia and Tony Robbins. Honestly, I enjoyed this video very much. Sophia has like it's artificial intelligence, but looks like a woman, very like nice and fancy woman. And you know, she has a script, and because of the script, she is capable to answer the questions, and she has like machine learning as well. But what she is missing, creativity. I remember that Tony asked her some question from Sophia, and she was like stuck. You know, why? Because of imagination. Robots, they don't have imagination, they don't have creativity. And how is this competency may be useful for the future? Let's agree that nowadays we are in a very tough situation and we need to be creative. And I would associate this word with a very modern word right now, trending word, agile. Creativity. To be creative, to be agile, to be imaginative. So it depends on you how you will be solving your team's problems. You can look it straightforward and you can have only one perception about this, or you can, yes, you can look at the problem from different perspectives. So creativity is a competency that will be extremely useful for the future industry. Flexibility and adaptability. It's a very chaotic world. And again, to adapt to changes, and not only to adapt, but to adapt fastly, with very high speed, I would say. We need to adapt. Adaptability is very important. Let me give you a little bit funny example. A year ago, when I was teaching, I think it was SHRM class for my HR professionals, I was talking about, about telework, about online work, and my colleagues from Azerbaijan and from Bahrain, they said, Laura, I'm sorry, but in our culture, it will not work. We are not people who can be able to work on a remote basis. Honestly, I thought, why not? So if I can work from airport, from airplanes, from anywhere, why you can't adapt? They said, no, it's not, our culture is not letting this. We want personal connections, personal interactions, and all of this stuff. And honestly, when we had these pandemics, everyone adapted. Everyone adapted to this. Everyone said, yes, who wants to work, let's say, on a remote basis? Everyone raised a hand. Why? In order not to lose the job, you need to be flexible. You need to be adapt. You can say that I'm in this box and I'm not willing to change. Adaptability and flexibility. It's also one more important competency for the future. Yeah, leadership. Leadership will remain as one of the most top 3 competencies for the future industries. But leadership will become even tougher. It will be very tough to be a leader. Why? Because imagine that you are working in a very, I would say, volatile, very complex world. You are working and leading in a world with global risks. Risks like pandemics, risks like depression, a lot of different kind of risks. And you need to be here, I would say, more transformative. And transformative leaders, they will be like really thriving. You need to be transformative in terms of your human wisdom, in terms of your creativity, and I would say in terms of your intuition. You need to be able to be a leader yourself, to lead by example, and to, again, flexibility. Whatever we told today, yes, about like different kind of competences like flexibility, adaptability, this leadership style, transformative leadership, needs to combine all of these competences, all in one. So number 2 competency is data literacy. Yes, data literacy. Again, we are working and we are living in a big data era. And I would say the fuel, again, I'm just underlining this, a fuel of new industry is big data. And we are massively bombarded by big data. We have a massive explosion of this big data. And if you don't know how to use this data, it will be like nothing for you. It will be useless for you. And in order really to use this big data properly, in order to help, let's say, for you to make any business decisions, you need to have this data literacy. And of course, you need to understand, so what kind of data, how it needs to be combined, stored, and how it can help to increase your business. And number one, extremely important competency that really will be useful for the future. And I would like you also maybe to write it on a chat box, what you think, your own opinion about the number 1 competency is tech savviness. Tech savviness. In an age and an industry of technology, yes, what is the most important? Of course, it is tech savviness. Tech savviness because, again, 3D printing, yes, artificial intelligence, robotics. So we are working and operating in this environment. We, for example, develop a new skill, and this new skill is becoming out of date after 2-3 years. We need clearly to understand what technology, how it develops, yes, how those technologies are interconnected with each other, what kind of maybe programs can be very useful for our work, what are our trends in terms of technology in our industry. We need to have this technical knowledge in order to succeed in our works. I remember maybe 15 years ago or 10 years ago, no, not 10 years ago, maybe 15 or 20 years ago, in Azerbaijan, we had a position named computer operator. I don't know how about India, but in Azerbaijan, it was very popular to have computer operator. And when I was even like 15 years ago, I was going to labor career fairs, people were entering and asking, do you have a computer job? Do you have any computer job? And I was extremely nervous. Do you know why? Because I was like trying to explain them that nowadays every job is computer job. Like there is no job without computer. Even if you are PA, you are doing these appointments on computer. Even if you are a doctor, you also do notes and everything is on computer. If you are office employee, yes, in a corporate roles, engineer, accountant, HR, everything is in computer. So now there is no position like computer operator. Now everyone is computer operator. And in the future, if currently nowadays, yes, today, for example, only a few of us is going through these trends, reading some literature about artificial intelligence, for example, about general technology, in the future, everyone needs to have this technical knowledge. And let me give you one more example. Social media, yes, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. I personally use YouTube and I personally use LinkedIn a lot. And imagine that you would like to communicate with your audience and you don't know how to post a video on YouTube, how to use LinkedIn properly. You will be stuck. At certain point, you will be stuck because you will not be able to go forward in your career. You will be falling backward, but you will not be falling forward. So we need clearly to have all of these tools. For example, language barrier shouldn't be a barrier for us, or technology barrier, again, shouldn't be a barrier for us. Everyone needs to be able to use technology. I have a grandma and she's 90 years old and she's using a mobile phone. Really, she doesn't have a Facebook profile, but she's very good at using mobile phone. So this is evidence that we as a human beings, we have an adaptability skills and we really have a technical knowledge as well. At the end of my presentation, I would like to leave you with one maybe key message or maybe takeaway message with one thought. So today, yes, we, in spite of everything, in spite of these challenging and tough times globally, yes, we're very optimistic about the future. We're still looking forward for new normal. This new normal, it will be totally different that we used to have before. Yesterday, me and my team member, we went to the business meeting in State Oil Fund, and it was really fun to have. It was my second meeting, like real face-to-face meeting after pandemics. I was wearing masks, she was wearing masks. Everyone was like sitting in a big room. And you know, we were keeping distance like 2-3 meters between us. All business advices that we need in order to have this interaction, we need to be able to sit next to each other. So everything like crashed, collapsed. And in spite of everything, we are very optimistic about the future. We are very dedicated to innovation. We are very adaptable. And why? Because in order to survive, in order to thrive, we need to be adaptable. And we really try to keep this team spirit. We need to be leaders, yes, because we are interacting with human beings, not with machines. And we're really committed to success. Everyone's performance is high right now. And in the future, you will see that everyone is performing good, especially Generation Z. Are you familiar with them? They are really like, wow. I mean, they're very clever, they're very smart, they're very demanding. And Generation Z, they're really committed to success, to do it or die it. And imagine in this very competitive world, you will have only one thing to differentiate yourself from the crowd, from the audience. Do you know what is this? This is you. This is you. The only thing and space which is left to differentiate yourself from any other, I would say, people, this is you. Your secret ingredients, and I would say your specific human-centric competencies that you really need to develop and adapt in your workplace. Thank you.